Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to show you how to perform pickpocketing in Baldur's Gate 3. Now, pickpocketing is a little confusing, and there are several things you should know about it.
A suggestive nod.
Spoilers for Act 3, just a little bit, but nothing really. Mostly minor spoilers about items that you may acquire throughout your journey. But this is more of a generic guide, and it should give you an idea on how to be a proper pickpocket and how to actually do it reliably and not get caught, unless you save scum. If you do save scum, this might not be as useful, but if you don't want to spend your game reloading back and forth, then read on, or listen on, or do both maybe. So, how to be a successful pickpocket. Step number 1, be a rogue. In this case, I have Astarion. He is level 11, which gives him everything necessary to be the best pickpocket in Baldur's Gate 3. First, we will need to go to the abilities. 20 dexterity is a must. Dexterity gives you +5 to dexterity checks, which includes Sleight of Hand, which is how you pickpocket people. Now, obviously, you also want Sleight of Hand, so if we look here to dexterity, it is at +17, and that is because of several items I've equipped. Generally speaking, you can only get it up to 12, I believe, without items, or is it 13? I think it is 13. That's +5 from dexterity, and +8 from having the rogue ability of expertise. Actually, bars get it too, but that gives you a double proficiency bonus, and if you're at level 11, your proficiency bonus is +4, so that's +8. So +17, and how do you get there? Well, you have the Smuggler's Ring, which you get from Act 1, as well as the Unlucky Thief's Gloves, which you can get in Act 3 as a random reward. There's also another item called like the Gloves of the Absolute or something like that. They give +1 to Sleight of Hands. You can get those in Act 1, and I believe you can get them like immediately, like almost immediately after the tutorial. That's all of the items that you can really get to improve your Sleight of Hand that I'm aware of. Some of the other things that you need are the Silver Pendant, which allows you to cast Guidance. Now, you don't specifically need this, but it's just helpful to have the character that you're pickpocketing with have guidance as well, and I'll explain why. And the Mask of the Shapeshifter, which allows you to cast Shapeshift. This is a special item you get as a reward for having the Digital Deluxe version of the game. You don't necessarily need this, but it pairs very well with another item, which is the Shapeshifter's Boon Ring, which gives you +1d4 on all checks while shapeshifting or disguising, which this allows you to do. And that's pretty much all of the items you need, actually. Now, why are these items important? So, this gives you 1d4 on all checks, right? And this allows you to shapeshift at any point. So if you shapeshift or disguise yourself, Astarion now has 1d4 on all checks, including pickpocketing or Sleight of Hand. Now, these gloves already add the bonus, so that's another +4 to Sleight of Hand. And with this ring, that's another 1d4. With guidance, that's another 1d4. And I also have Bardic Inspiration cast on Astarion, which gives him a 1d8, or 1d6, or 1d10, depending on which level the Bard is at, on any ability checks. Just one, though. The next ability check made, and that's something you can toggle off or on right here. Wait, what is it? Right there. So the Bardic roll, I can toggle it off and on if I don't want to use it. I can toggle it off. But for this example, I'm going to leave it on. So, let's get into the pickpocketing. So first, you need to cast Guidance. Very important. Guidance is on the timer, so it's got 10 turns. Then Stealth and approach your mark. In this case, we're going to approach this bad boy. Go into turn-based mode. And here we are. So what are we looking at here? These are the items you can steal, obviously. And I'm not actually interested in most of these. There's only like a couple of things I want. And for this example, I want to try stealing the most difficult item I can, which is, I think, going to be over here somewhere, unless I skipped through it. Let's see. No, this one right here. So, click on that. Target number of 13. What does that mean? 13 means that you need to roll a 13 on your die in order to steal this item successfully. Rogues have a special ability called Reliable Talent, which treats any dice rolled as a 10 if it's lower than a 10. So if you roll a 1 a crit fail, it's still treated as a 10. In other words, as long as you're proficient in a skill, it cannot crit fail and you will always roll at least a 10. And for Astarion, I also have cast, where is it at? Cat's Grace, which gives him advantage on dexterity. But this is not necessary with this particular strategy. So the way these checks work is that items that are very inexpensive, like let's say you're trying to steal this dagger, it has a -6. -6 isn't what you need to roll. That's not the target number. You need to roll a basically less or more than a 1 to succeed. The actual DC for this is going to be, I believe, 11. So let's take a look. If we go here and look at... I lost Condition Bardic Inspiration. That was actually not intended. Whoops. But that's fine. So skill check 13, 1d20 plus advantage, sure. And like I said, difficulty class of 11. And the way you arrive at that is 17 minus 6. So the base class is 17 and it changes based on that. Now I'm not sure if that can change. I have seen other numbers. I believe it depends on the merchant, the difficulty, and a few other things, but I am not 100% sure. All I know is the number you see here is the number you need to roll. So for example, here I need to roll at least a 7. With Reliable Talent, that will always automatically succeed because I cannot roll less than a 10. And this takes into account your bonuses as well. So like for example, if you have plus 17 to Sleight of Hand, it will take that into account. So this is not 7, this is like 24 that I actually need to get. Like that's the DC. And let's make sure. 24, exactly. Now this item is a 13. 13 plus 17 is 30. I cannot automatically succeed that check. However, this does not account the 1d4 from Guidance and the 1d4 from the Shapeshifter Ring and the 1d whatever from Bardic Inspiration, which is why I was kind of sad that I got rid of it. I'm gonna try this regardless. I have a very good chance of gaining this item so long as the 1d4s roll a little higher than a 1 on each. So as long as I get a 2 and a 1, or anything higher than that, this will automatically succeed, regardless of what the actual die roll is. And it succeeded, so let's take a look. Difficulty class of 30, exactly. Skill check 13, so it automatically succeeds with the skill check itself. But the mark of Shapeshifter was a 2, and the Guidance was a 2, so it would have succeeded either way. 13, I believe, is the highest roll that I've seen, so a DC 30 is the highest Sleight of Hand check you'll need to pass. And with Bardic Inspiration and with all the other bonuses I've listed, you can automatically succeed it. So there's no chance of failure whatsoever if you're completely maxed out. Earlier in the game, these bonuses don't matter as much because the way the game calculates the DC is based on how expensive something is. So for example, these gloves are worth 570, so they're not as difficult to steal as, like, let's say this gold, which is worth 1835. So once you get to like 2k, that's kind of where it maxes out. This is a 10, that's 770. Let's see, what is another item that's very expensive? Like this one right here, so that's 2400. Anything over 2k gold, I believe, maxes out at 30 DC. And I don't think it goes higher than 30. So these boots, I can automatically grab. Gloves. Mine. Steal. Steal. Got it. Yep. Easy. Easy. Absolutely easy. I can literally steal everything. And unfortunately, there's really not much else I want. I'm just kind of going through to see if there's anything else that I may need. You of course don't need to steal everything, but if you wanted to, you could. If you wanted to, you could. And just for funsies, I think I'm just gonna steal all this other stuff. As you can see, everything is an auto success, and unfortunately, Astarion is now encumbered because he's got so much. But the half-plate +2, I will not try and steal that just because it can fail. I will instead steal the chainmail, which will not fail. The chainmail has a 29, and my max is 27 +2, so 29. So it will automatically succeed regardless of what I roll. In this case, it rolled higher, but even if it rolled ones for everything, it would still succeed. That is the basics of how pickpocketing works. And like I mentioned in earlier acts, you don't need to max it out. This is only for like endgame stuff where you just need to succeed. And for that, as I've explained, reliable talent and everything else, you pretty much have to have unless you want to save and reload and save scum essentially. So aside from that, there's only one more step left, and that is getting the heck away. As soon as you're done pickpocketing, close the window and sneak away. For this, I'm gonna go ahead and use dash, and where do I go? Unfortunately, I can't dash because Astarion yeah, he's kind of slow right now. So we're just gonna sneak away all sneaky like. And stay there. And turn. Skip turns.
Despite everything.
So the shopkeeper is gonna find out that he's been pickpocketed, and he's gonna be like, "Wait, that's not cool." Actually, I'm not sure I can jump. Let's take a look. If you have too much loot, and my character has too much loot, so I have to drop some of the stuff off for him to be able to jump. Let's do that right now. And so the funny thing is, these gloves add coal into your inventory whenever you steal items. Totally worth it, but yeah, that is something that they do. So I'm just gonna move all this stuff over to this character, and then Astarion is gonna hop and a skip and make a clean getaway. Because rogues have a way to reduce fall damage, he can actually jump from higher than other characters without taking damage, which is pretty cool. Anyway, exit. Stand right there. Make sure your characters are far away as the shopkeeper freaks out and tries to find their items. Now this takes about, I don't know, 20 to 30 seconds for them to sort of like look around and aggro. And then after that, they'll go back to their normal routine. It looks like he's done. It looks like he stopped. That is a clean pickpocket. Nothing else really to be said. You can resell these items. Oh, wait a minute. So, like, he actually called the Flaming Fist. That's interesting. So the Flaming Fists are gonna look. Yeah, so they're gonna look around, and you want to be as far away as possible. In fact,
back home will ever believe this.
My characters are gonna
Be on my way.
just go away. The thing is, it doesn't matter if
On my way.
they know who did it or not. Like, if they're next to you, they'll still aggro. It's kind of weird. So essentially, have your characters as far away as possible until whoever is looking for the thief stops looking. And that's all there is to pickpocketing. I hope this was helpful. you can pretty much pickpocket anything in the game. You know, go out there and be the best thief that you can be. That's it. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye.
I'm standing downwind.